For millions of older adults across the United States and Europe, something surprising happens after the age of 50. They start eating healthy, cutting out junk food, avoiding sweets and choosing lighter meals. Yet their weight refuses to move, their blood sugar stays stubborn, their belly fat remains, and their energy crashes by afternoon. Many seniors wonder why their metabolism feels stuck, why their body is not responding the way it did years ago, and why certain foods that once seemed harmless now cause bloating, cravings, and sudden fatigue. The truth is simple. After 50, the body becomes extremely sensitive to even the smallest amounts of sugar and carbohydrates. And most seniors are eating hidden sugars every single day without realizing it. This is why today's topic shocks so many people. There are foods, incredibly healthy foods, that contain zero carbs and zero sugar, and yet almost no one over 50 takes full advantage of them. These foods help stabilize blood sugar, reduce belly fat, lower inflammation, fuel the muscles, support the brain, and increase energy throughout the day. More importantly, they help seniors feel full without spiking insulin, the hormone responsible for fat storage. Many seniors believe weight gain after 50 is due to age, but the real reason is something far more fixable. The body is fighting against hidden carbs it can no longer process efficiently. One of the clearest examples comes from a woman named Evelyn, a 62-year-old from Boston who tried multiple diets. She cut bread, stopped eating dessert, and walked daily, yet nothing changed. She felt defeated until her nutritionist told her something she never expected. She was eating nearly 60 grams of hidden sugar a day without knowing it, from foods labeled healthy: yogurt, fruit drinks, cereal, and even sauces. When Evelyn replaced these foods with zero-carb, zero-sugar options, her energy stabilized within a week. Her afternoon crashes disappeared, and she lost nearly 8 pounds in the first month without changing anything else. A similar story comes from Harold, a 70-year-old retired chef from Manchester, England. His doctor told him his blood sugar was climbing toward prediabetes. Harold began cutting back on desserts, but nothing improved. When he finally learned which foods had zero carbs and zero sugar, and how his body could use them for energy instead of storing fat, his morning blood sugar began dropping naturally. His legs felt lighter on walks, his belly softened, and he began sleeping better. He often said, "I wish someone told me this when I turned 50." The surprising truth is that foods with zero carbs and zero sugar are some of the most powerful for seniors because they help the body burn fat for fuel instead of storing it. They help reduce inflammation that causes joint pain. They support muscle strength at a time when muscle loss speeds up dramatically. They protect brain health. And most importantly, they give seniors the feeling of control over their appetite, weight, and energy. These foods do not cause cravings. They do not spike insulin. They do not trigger hunger cycles. They support the body the way nature designed. And yet, very few seniors know what they are or how to use them correctly. This video is not about extreme dieting. It is not about starving yourself or eating boring meals. It is about discovering the 12 healthiest zero-carb, zero-sugar foods that help your body work with you instead of against you. Foods that help seniors feel lighter, younger, and more energized, not because of magic, but because the body thrives when sugar and carbs are removed. Before we dive into these foods, it's important to understand something critical. Your metabolism is not broken. Your age is not the enemy. Your body is simply asking for the right fuel that does not come from carbs or sugar. And once you give your body that fuel, everything changes. Your energy, your hunger, your digestion, your waistline, your blood sugar, and even your mood. Now let's uncover the truth behind why these foods work so well, why they are perfect for seniors, and how they can transform your health beginning today. For most seniors, the struggle with weight, blood sugar, cravings, and stubborn belly fat does not begin the moment sugar enters their diet. It begins years earlier, when the metabolism slowly stops responding the way it once did. After the age of 50, the body undergoes a silent shift that no one warns you about. The hormones responsible for regulating appetite, fat burning, and insulin sensitivity begin declining. The muscles that once burned calories effortlessly begin shrinking. The liver becomes slower at processing sugars. The pancreas becomes more sensitive, and the blood vessels react strongly to even small changes in diet. This is why seniors can follow the same eating patterns as they did in their 30s and 40s, yet their results are completely different. The truth is that the modern diet is filled with hidden sugars, sugars that do not taste sweet, that are disguised inside healthy foods, and that spike insulin just as dramatically as candy or desserts. Yogurt, whole grain crackers, flavored oatmeal, fruit smoothies, cereals, sauces, dressings, and even soups often contain more sugar than seniors realize. And when a person over 50 eats these foods, their body responds aggressively. Instead of burning energy, it stores fat. Instead of feeling full, they feel hungry again. Instead of stable energy, they feel sudden crashes. And instead of keeping blood sugar balanced, the body releases extra insulin, trapping sugar inside fat cells and preventing weight loss. One of the biggest challenges is that seniors experience something called insulin resistance, a condition where the body stops listening to insulin. The pancreas releases more and more insulin to control blood sugar, but the cells do not respond. Elevated insulin means the body cannot burn fat, especially around the belly, hips, thighs, and back. Many seniors do not even know they are insulin resistant because it develops slowly. They only notice the symptoms: constant hunger, midsection weight gain, energy crashes, cravings for sweets or bread, and difficulty losing weight no matter how clean their diet looks. A 66-year-old man named Richard from Stockholm learned this the hard way. He exercised daily, avoided sweets, and thought he was eating well, yet his weight continued rising. His doctor later explained that his so-called healthy breakfasts contained nearly 40 grams of hidden sugar. He had been unknowingly spiking his insulin every morning for years. When he switched to zero-carb, zero-sugar foods for breakfast, his blood sugar stabilized, his cravings faded, and he finally began losing weight effortlessly. Another overlooked problem is that the body's metabolism naturally slows with age because of muscle loss. After 50, most seniors lose around 1% of muscle each year. Because muscle burns calories even at rest, losing muscle means the body burns far fewer calories. This makes it extremely easy to gain weight, even when eating the same amount of food. Senior women experience this more intensely due to hormonal changes after menopause. When estrogen declines, the body directs fat toward the belly. This is why many older women develop central obesity even when their diet has not changed. When hidden sugars are added on top of hormonal changes, weight gain happens rapidly. Another issue is inflammation. Many seniors suffer from low-grade inflammation without knowing it. Joint pain, swelling, stiffness, fatigue, digestive discomfort, and slow healing are signs the body is inflamed. Inflammation disrupts insulin and blocks the body's ability to burn fat. Certain foods trigger inflammation even if they contain healthy carbs. These include potatoes, some fruits, grains, and packaged foods labeled low-fat. Seniors often eat these foods thinking they are making healthy choices, but their inflammation gets worse and their metabolism slows even more. A 60-year-old woman named Claudia from Barcelona experienced painful inflammation for years. She blamed aging and arthritis, but when she removed hidden sugars from her diet and started eating zero-carb, zero-sugar foods, something remarkable happened. Her joint stiffness reduced, her energy improved, and for the first time in 6 years, she woke up without swelling in her fingers. Her husband noticed the change before she did. He told her she looked like she felt lighter, not in weight, but in burden. Another part of the problem is hormonal imbalance. Seniors often underestimate how dramatically hormones influence hunger. When insulin is high, hunger hormone ghrelin increases. When insulin spikes, cravings intensify. Even if a senior is full, their brain demands more food, often sugar or carbs. This is why so many older adults feel addicted to bread, pastries, or sweet drinks. It is not lack of discipline. It is physiology. Zero-carb, zero-sugar foods help because they break the cycle, calm the hunger hormones, and stabilize energy. The liver also plays a role. After decades of processing sugars, oils, alcohol, and toxins, the liver becomes sluggish. A sluggish liver does not clear insulin efficiently, does not manage fat well, and cannot regulate energy smoothly. This is why so many seniors feel exhausted in the afternoon, struggle with digestion, and gain fat around the waist. When sugar and carbs are removed, the liver finally gets a break. It begins functioning more effectively, clearing insulin, burning fat, and improving energy levels. Another overlooked factor is that the body's cellular energy factories, the mitochondria, weaken with age. They become less efficient at converting sugar into energy. When seniors eat carbs, the mitochondria struggle to turn it into fuel, causing tiredness, brain fog, and weakness. But when the diet includes zero-carb, zero-sugar foods, the mitochondria use fats and proteins more efficiently, giving seniors steady energy without crashes. One of the most surprising problems is water retention, something many seniors blame on salt. But the real culprit is insulin. When insulin is high, kidneys hold water, leading to swelling in the ankles, face, hands, and belly. Many seniors think they are bloated because of sodium, but sugar is the real cause. When sugar and carbs are removed, the body releases excess water. Seniors often lose several pounds in the first week simply from lowered insulin. Many older adults also suffer from digestive issues like gas, bloating, constipation, or acid reflux. These issues often worsen when the gut is overwhelmed with sugars and carbs. When seniors switch to low-carb or zero-carb foods, their digestive symptoms often improve dramatically within days. A man named Gerald, age 72 from Chicago, suffered from bloating for nearly a decade. He tried medications, fiber supplements, teas, and probiotics. Nothing worked. The moment he removed hidden carbs and began eating zero-sugar foods, the bloating disappeared. His wife said it was the first time in years he felt comfortable after meals. Ultimately, the problem seniors face is not lack of discipline, lack of exercise, or lack of willpower. It is lack of the right fuel. Their body is sensitive, their hormones shift, their insulin rises quickly, and their muscles lose strength. The modern diet is filled with hidden sugars that make these problems even worse. And this is why zero-carb, zero-sugar foods work incredibly well. They silence insulin, calm inflammation, stabilize energy, fuel the muscles, and give seniors the metabolic reset their body has been begging for. The moment seniors understand this, everything changes. They stop blaming age. They stop feeling frustrated with their body. They stop thinking they are doing something wrong. And they begin finally supporting their metabolism the way it needs at this stage of life. Your body is not failing. Your metabolism is not broken. It simply needs a different kind of fuel. And these zero-carb, zero-sugar foods are the key to unlocking it. When seniors finally understand the real cause behind stubborn weight, cravings, belly fat, and unpredictable energy, something powerful happens. They stop fighting their body and begin feeding it in a way that aligns with how the metabolism works after 50. This is where the discovery of zero-carb, zero-sugar foods becomes life-changing. These foods do not spike insulin, do not trigger cravings, do not inflame the joints, and do not slow the liver. Instead, they give the body clean fuel that stabilizes appetite, supports muscles, and restores metabolic control. Many seniors who switch to these foods describe the feeling as peaceful eating, because for the first time in decades, they feel full, steady, and energized without the roller coaster of hunger and crashes. And what surprises most people is how simple, accessible, and delicious these foods are. The first category of foods seniors benefit from are high-quality proteins with zero carbs and zero sugar. These proteins do more than build muscles. They stabilize blood sugar, keep hunger low for hours, repair aging tissues, and prevent the muscle loss that accelerates after 50. A 71-year-old woman named Helena from Belgium said she felt like she was eating real food for the first time in her life when she incorporated these proteins into her morning meal. Her energy stabilized and her afternoon cravings disappeared. This single change helped her lose nearly 20 pounds without dieting. Eggs, for example, are one of the most metabolically powerful foods on the planet for seniors. They contain zero sugar and nearly zero carbs, yet they deliver complete protein, healthy fats, B vitamins, and choline, a nutrient that supports memory and liver health. Many seniors fear eggs because of old beliefs about cholesterol, but modern research shows the cholesterol in eggs does not raise blood cholesterol in most people. In fact, the nutrients in eggs support hormone production, muscle repair, and appetite control, the very things the aging body struggles with. Seniors who eat eggs feel full for hours, experience fewer cravings, and maintain stable blood sugar. A 68-year-old man named Oliver from Ireland replaced his cereal with eggs every morning. After 2 weeks, his morning hunger vanished, his energy stabilized, and his doctor was shocked to see his fasting insulin drop naturally. Another zero-carb food with incredible benefits is fish, particularly salmon, sardines, cod, and tuna. These foods contain no sugar and absolutely no carbs, yet they deliver omega-3 fats that reduce inflammation, support the heart, and improve insulin sensitivity. Many seniors suffer from chronic low-grade inflammation that silently worsens weight gain and causes fatigue. Fish breaks this cycle. A senior woman named Doris from France ate salmon for dinner 3 times a week for 1 month. Her joint stiffness softened, her belly bloating reduced, and her mood stabilized in a way she had not felt in years. Her weight also began dropping naturally, not because she was eating less, but because her insulin finally calmed down. The next group of foods includes lean meats such as chicken breast, turkey, and grass-fed beef. These foods are pure protein and contain no carbohydrates or sugars. Protein is the single most important nutrient for seniors who want to prevent muscle loss and maintain strength. After 50, the body becomes resistant to protein, meaning seniors need more of it to maintain the same muscle mass they once had. Lean meats digest slowly, keep hunger away, and help the body burn more calories at rest. A 75-year-old man named Howard from Scotland was shocked to learn that adding more lean protein to his meals actually helped him lose belly fat. He felt stronger, steadier on his feet, and more satisfied after meals. Another powerful zero-carb food many seniors overlook is shellfish, especially shrimp and scallops. These foods are rich in iodine, selenium, and B vitamins that support the thyroid. The thyroid regulates metabolism, energy, weight, and heat production. When the thyroid slows, something very common after 50, seniors feel tired, cold, and sluggish. Shrimp and scallops help reactivate metabolic pathways without adding sugar or carbs. A 65-year-old woman named Karina from Denmark added shrimp into 3 meals a week and was stunned when her afternoon exhaustion disappeared. For the first time in years, she made it through the day without needing a nap. Then we reach one of the most surprising zero-carb foods, olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil. Although it contains calories, it contains no carbs and absolutely no sugar. More importantly, olive oil stabilizes blood sugar, reduces inflammation, enhances nutrient absorption, and supports heart health. Seniors often fear oils, but olive oil is different because it lowers insulin and supports fat-burning hormones. A 70-year-old man named Marco in Italy replaced processed oils in his kitchen with extra virgin olive oil. Within 3 weeks, his digestion improved, his bloating disappeared, and his doctor reported a significant improvement in his cholesterol profile. Another zero-carb powerhouse is butter, especially grass-fed butter. Many seniors think butter is unhealthy, but pure butter contains no carbs, no sugars, and provides a rare fatty acid called butyrate, which feeds the gut lining and reduces inflammation. Seniors who replace sugary spreads with a small amount of butter often feel full longer and experience fewer cravings. A 69-year-old woman named Patricia from Georgia felt constantly hungry after breakfast until her nutritionist recommended adding a small amount of butter to her eggs. The hunger she battled for years vanished. Another group of zero-carb foods that seniors underestimate are green leafy vegetables, specifically those with almost negligible carbs such as spinach, lettuce, arugula, and Swiss chard. These vegetables contain near zero digestible carbohydrates because their fiber cancels out the carbs. They do not raise blood sugar or insulin. They help with digestion, reduce inflammation, and support cellular health. Many seniors feel lighter when eating these greens because they support the liver and gut. A 64-year-old woman named Ruth in Germany said adding a simple bowl of spinach to her lunch changed her digestion and reduced her bloating dramatically. Next, we have herbs and spices, especially garlic, turmeric, rosemary, basil, and oregano. These contain zero carbs and zero sugar, yet deliver powerful anti-inflammatory compounds that support blood sugar, digestion, and immunity. Seniors often underestimate how spices help the body metabolize food efficiently. Garlic, for example, supports heart health. Rosemary improves digestion. Turmeric reduces joint pain. A 78-year-old man named Paul from Austria added turmeric and garlic to his meals daily. After 1 month, the stiffness in his hands reduced so dramatically that he could open jars again. Another zero-carb essential food is avocado oil, which contains no sugar or carbs. It is one of the most stable oils for cooking because it withstands heat without oxidizing. Oxidized oils create inflammation in the body, worsening weight gain and blood sugar. Avocado oil supports the heart, improves insulin sensitivity, and helps seniors feel satiated longer. Then there are zero-carb cheeses, especially Parmesan, cheddar, mozzarella, and goat cheese. Seniors often fear cheese because of calories, but when eaten in moderation, cheese contains no sugars and minimal carbs while delivering calcium, protein, and healthy fats. Cheeses also support bone strength, something critically important after 60. A senior woman named Elizabeth from Sweden enjoyed cheese, but always avoided it because she thought it would make her gain weight. When she reintroduced small portions of zero-carb cheese, she found her cravings decreased, her energy stabilized, and her digestion improved. Another incredible zero-carb category is coffee and tea, as long as they contain no added sugars. Black coffee and herbal teas contain zero carbs, increase metabolism, support fat burning, and reduce appetite. Seniors who replace sugary beverages with these drinks often see improvements quickly. A 72-year-old man named Ken from Chicago replaced his morning juice, which he believed was healthy, with unsweetened tea. This single change dropped his fasting blood sugar by nearly 10 points in 2 weeks. One of the most powerful zero-carb foods for seniors is bone broth. It contains no carbs and no sugar, yet it delivers collagen, minerals, electrolytes, and amino acids that support joint health, digestion, and muscle strength. Many seniors suffering from joint stiffness experience relief when they drink bone broth regularly. A 68-year-old woman named Marta from Spain used bone broth every evening. She said her sleep improved, her knees hurt less, and her digestion felt calmer than it had in years. Lastly, we have plain water, the most overlooked zero-carb food of all. Seniors often live in a state of dehydration without knowing it. Dehydration slows metabolism, increases cravings, raises blood sugar, and worsens fatigue. When seniors increase their water intake, their digestion improves, their blood sugar stabilizes, and their cravings soften. A 65-year-old man named Daniel from Norway experienced headaches and cravings daily until his doctor told him he was chronically dehydrated. Drinking more water changed everything. His hunger reduced, his energy increased, and his mood stabilized. These zero-carb, zero-sugar foods support seniors better than anything else because they provide what aging bodies need: stable energy, strong muscles, balanced blood sugar, reduced inflammation, and steady digestion. They do not trigger insulin spikes. They do not create cravings. They do not overwhelm the liver. They do not feed inflammation. They help seniors regain control, not through dieting or restriction, but through nourishment aligned with their biology. When seniors eat these foods, they feel clear-minded, lighter, and more energized. They feel fewer cravings and have more control over their appetite. Their metabolism begins healing. Their belly slowly flattens. Their joints feel more comfortable. They sleep better. And for the first time in years, they feel like their body is working with them, not against them. The beauty of these foods is not just that they contain zero carbs and zero sugar. It is that they help seniors reconnect with a style of eating that their body understands naturally. This is the kind of food that nourished generations before modern sugar infiltrated every meal. And when seniors return to this simplicity, their health often improves dramatically, almost effortlessly. For seniors across the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, the Netherlands, Italy, Spain, Portugal, and many other parts of the world, the moment they decide to eat healthier and reduce sugar, they assume they are finally on the right path. They begin cutting out the obvious offenders: soda, cookies, desserts, pastries, white bread. They reduce portion sizes. They avoid fast food. And yet, despite these efforts, many seniors see very little progress in their energy, weight, or blood sugar numbers. They still feel tired after meals, still gain belly fat, still crave snacks, and still wake up with stiffness and swelling. This is the moment the frustration hits hardest, the moment they wonder whether eating healthy even works anymore after the age of 50. But the truth is not that healthy eating stops working. The truth is that most seniors are unintentionally doing the wrong things, not because they are careless, but because the modern food environment is designed to mislead them. The most destructive mistake seniors make is trusting foods labeled healthy, low-fat, heart-friendly, or diabetic-safe. These labels rarely tell the truth. In fact, the foods marketed most aggressively to seniors often contain the highest levels of hidden sugars and carbohydrates. Breakfast cereals that look light and wholesome contain more sugar per serving than a candy bar. Yogurts advertised as healthy often contain 12 to 20 grams of sugar. Fruit juices that look refreshing are liquid sugar disguised as wellness. And low-fat foods use added sugars to compensate for the missing fat. This is why many seniors believe they are eating correctly when in reality, they are triggering insulin spikes all day long. A 69-year-old man named Robert from Vancouver experienced this exact problem. His doctor advised him to reduce his carbohydrate intake to manage prediabetes. So Robert replaced snacks with healthy granola bars and cereal bowls with low-fat yogurt. After 3 months, his blood sugar numbers were worse, not better. His doctor was confused until they reviewed his diet. The healthy products he trusted were loaded with hidden sugars. When he removed these foods and focused on true zero-carb, zero-sugar foods, his blood sugar stabilized within weeks. His doctor later admitted that food marketing tricks many older adults because the messaging feels trustworthy, calming, and safe. But safe is not always true. Another dangerous mistake many seniors make is relying on fruit as a healthy snack. For younger people with fast metabolisms, fruit can be digested easily. But for seniors who are sensitive to sugar, even natural sugars can spike insulin dramatically. Bananas, grapes, pineapples, apples all contain high amounts of fructose, which stresses the liver and raises blood sugar. Seniors often think fruit is harmless because it's natural. But natural sugar is still sugar, and sugar behaves the same once inside the bloodstream. A 63-year-old woman named Marlene in Florida ate fruit multiple times daily. She believed she was eating clean, but her blood sugar stayed high and her belly fat increased. When she learned to replace fruit with zero-sugar options, her health changed dramatically. Another common trap is the belief that bread, even whole-grain bread, is okay in small amounts. Seniors often underestimate how aggressively bread spikes blood sugar, sometimes faster than table sugar. Even whole grain, multigrain, and artisan breads contain carbohydrates that convert into glucose almost immediately. Seniors who start their morning with toast, even whole grain toast, often feel hungry within an hour. Their energy drops. They crave sweets. This is because the bloodstream is flooded with glucose and insulin rises sharply. Bread is one of the biggest silent saboteurs of metabolism after 50. A 75-year-old man named Hugo in Vienna ate whole grain bread every morning with the belief that it was the healthiest option. After finally removing bread entirely for a month, he noticed something shocking. His cravings disappeared, his belly shrank, and his afternoon fatigue vanished. The next mistake seniors make is believing they can outrun poor food choices with exercise. Many older adults walk daily, believing that walking allows them to eat whatever they want in moderation. But the metabolism after 50 behaves differently. A 30-minute walk cannot counteract the effect of a sugary breakfast or a high-carb lunch. Exercise helps circulation, mood, and muscle health, but it does not cancel out insulin-spiking foods. A 68-year-old woman named Anita from London walked 2 miles every day, but gained weight consistently. Her doctor explained that her breakfast, fruit smoothies and granola, contained more sugar than she realized. When she switched to zero-carb, zero-sugar breakfasts, her weight finally began to move in the right direction. One of the most damaging mistakes, especially for seniors, is following old nutrition advice from the 1980s and 1990s, advice that encouraged low-fat diets. For decades, people were told fat was the enemy, butter was bad, eggs were bad, meat should be limited, and sugar was marketed as harmless. This led to generations of people, especially older adults, avoiding fats and consuming more carbs. But decades of research now show the opposite. Healthy fats support hormones, brain function, skin health, and blood sugar stability. When seniors eat low-fat diets, they often increase carbs without realizing it. These carbohydrates turn into sugar. Sugar leads to insulin spikes. Insulin leads to fat storage, cravings, and inflammation. Many seniors experience chronic hunger on low-fat diets because fat is the nutrient that keeps hunger hormones quiet. A 73-year-old woman named Irene from Arizona followed a strict low-fat diet for decades. She struggled with hunger every day. Her daughter convinced her to try adding olive oil and eggs back into her meals. Within 2 weeks, her appetite stabilized for the first time in years. Another major mistake is drinking calories. Seniors often consume sugar in liquid form without recognizing it. Juice, iced tea, flavored water, sports drinks, oat milk, almond milk, and coffee creamer all contain hidden sugars. These liquids digest instantly and hit the bloodstream faster than food, causing rapid spikes in insulin. A 76-year-old man named Fernando from Lisbon drank unsweetened almond milk daily, assuming it was harmless. But the brand he used included added sugars, which kept his blood sugar elevated. When he removed it and switched to water and herbal tea, his numbers improved rapidly. One of the most dangerous patterns is eating too frequently. Seniors are often told to eat 5 or 6 small meals a day to boost metabolism. But after 50, this creates metabolic chaos. Every meal, even a small snack, triggers insulin. Constant eating means constant insulin spikes, and constant insulin keeps fat locked inside fat cells, preventing weight loss entirely. Seniors who snack often, even on healthy foods, are unknowingly keeping their insulin elevated all day. A 62-year-old woman named Janine in Toronto snacked every few hours to keep her metabolism going. She could not understand why she never lost weight. When she switched to 2 or 3 solid meals and removed snacks, her cravings disappeared and she finally lost weight steadily. Another mistake is eating late at night. The metabolism naturally slows in the evening. Eating carbs or sugary foods late at night leads to blood sugar spikes that the body cannot handle efficiently. This creates restless sleep, nighttime hunger, morning fatigue, and stubborn belly fat. Many seniors wake up tired not because they didn't sleep enough, but because their nighttime blood sugar levels were unstable. A 67-year-old man named Adriano in Italy used to eat a bowl of cereal before bed because he believed it would help him sleep. When he learned that sugar disrupts sleep cycles, he replaced his cereal with herbal tea. His sleep improved drastically. Another harmful mistake for seniors is relying on artificial sweeteners. Many people turn to sugar-free products, assuming they are safe. But artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin trick the brain into expecting sugar. This triggers hunger, cravings, and even insulin spikes, despite the product being low-calorie or carb-free. Seniors who consume sugar-free drinks, candies, gums, or yogurts often find themselves hungrier and craving more carbs because the brain becomes confused. A 70-year-old man named Bernard from New Jersey consumed diet soda for years. He believed he was making a healthier choice, but his cravings never stopped. When he removed artificial sweeteners, his hunger dropped dramatically within days. Another critical mistake is eating too few calories, something many seniors do out of fear of gaining weight. They reduce portion sizes drastically or skip meals. But undereating slows the metabolism further and triggers the brain to store fat. The body believes it is in starvation mode and becomes conservative with energy expenditure. A 64-year-old woman named Sofia in Madrid ate very small meals to avoid weight gain. Yet she continued to gain weight, feel tired, and crave sugar. When she finally ate proper meals containing proteins, fats, and greens, her metabolism woke up, her cravings vanished, and she lost weight naturally. Many seniors also underestimate how harmful stress and lack of sleep are to their metabolism. Stress raises cortisol, which increases cravings, raises blood sugar, and stores fat around the belly. Poor sleep heightens hunger hormones and reduces insulin sensitivity. Many seniors feel hungry in the evening not because they need food, but because their sleep schedule is disrupted. A 72-year-old man named Leonard from Sweden could not understand his sudden nighttime cravings until his doctor explained that stress from caring for his ill wife was elevating his cortisol. When he finally focused on sleep and relaxation, his cravings settled and his evening hunger faded. Another often overlooked mistake is storing tempting foods at home. Seniors with the best intentions sabotage their progress by keeping bread, biscuits, crackers, and sugary snacks in their homes for guests or for grandchildren. But those foods often end up being eaten by the seniors themselves during moments of stress or fatigue. A 70-year-old woman named Monica in Chicago wanted to follow a no-sugar lifestyle, but kept cookies for her visiting grandkids. She admitted that she ended up eating them whenever she felt tired. When she removed them from her home entirely, her cravings subsided and she stayed consistent with her healthier eating. Seniors also fall into the trap of eating sugar emotionally, often without realizing it. Loneliness, boredom, stress, and sadness often drive older adults toward sugary or carb-rich foods. Sugar temporarily boosts serotonin, giving a short-lived sense of comfort. But after the spike comes the crash. This crash leads to deeper emotional lows, creating a cycle that feels impossible to break. A 66-year-old man named Thomas from Dublin confessed that he turned to ice cream whenever he felt lonely. But when he learned how sugar affected his mood and energy, he began replacing this habit with herbal tea or protein-based snacks. He later said that breaking this cycle brought more emotional peace than he ever expected. One of the most powerful yet overlooked mistakes is trusting restaurant food. Restaurants often add sugar to sauces, soups, marinades, dressings, and glazes to enhance flavor. Senior couples who eat out often unknowingly consume massive amounts of sugar. A 68-year-old couple from Munich, Clara and Otto, ate at restaurants 4 times a week. They believed they were ordering healthy dishes, salads, soups, grilled meats. But when they switched to eating most meals at home with zero sugar ingredients, they lost a combined 15 kilograms in 3 months. Lastly, the most destructive mistake seniors make is believing that nothing will change, that their metabolism is too old or too slow to improve. But the reality is that the body responds immediately when sugar and carbs are removed, no matter the age. Seniors in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s have improved their energy, reduced inflammation, lost weight, and stabilized blood sugar simply by removing the foods that disrupt metabolism. Seniors do not fail because of age. They fail because of the foods they have been told are healthy. When they correct these mistakes, hidden sugars, artificial sweeteners, constant snacking, late-night eating, low-fat dieting, fruit overload, reliance on bread, emotional eating, sugary beverages, restaurant pitfalls, and undereating, their metabolism awakens. Their cravings vanish, their energy stabilizes, and their body begins functioning the way it was always meant to. Your body is not aging out of control, it is reacting to the wrong foods. And once those foods are removed, the transformation begins immediately. There comes a moment in every senior's health journey when they pause, look back at the meals they once trusted, the foods they believed were healthy, and the habits they thought were harmless, and they finally understand why their body struggled for so many years. They realize that what held them back was not age, not metabolism, not bad luck, and not genetics. It was simply the food environment around them. It was the quiet presence of sugar in places they never expected. It was the disguised carbohydrates hiding in snacks, in bread, in sauces, in smoothies, in healthy labels, and in the foods they were told were good for them. And once that realization settles in, something powerful happens. They stop fighting against their own body and begin working with it. This final part is about that turning point. The moment seniors regain control, the moment everything becomes clearer, the moment they stop feeling confused about weight, sugar, cravings, and energy, and start feeling confident again. Because the truth is, once seniors understand how the metabolism works after 50, once they learn which foods nourish them and which foods trick them, the path forward becomes incredibly simple. Eating becomes peaceful again. Meals become enjoyable again. And life begins to feel lighter, both physically and emotionally. Thousands of seniors across the United States and Europe have reached this moment, and their stories share a common thread: relief. A 68-year-old man named John from Minnesota said he felt as if a heavy weight had been lifted the day he learned about zero-carb, zero-sugar foods. For years, he battled cravings, afternoon exhaustion, and constant guilt over what he ate. But once he removed the foods that triggered his insulin spikes, he felt freedom he hadn't felt since his 30s. He said, "It feels like my body is finally playing on my team again." A 71-year-old woman named Margareta from Germany shared a similar experience. She had spent decades trying diets that left her hungry and frustrated. But when she discovered which foods contained no sugar and no carbohydrates, she found a way of eating that made her feel full, calm, and energized. She lost 16 kilograms over a year without forcing herself to diet. More importantly, she said she rediscovered joy in her meals, the kind of joy she thought was impossible at her age. These stories might sound inspiring, but they are not rare. They happen every day because the body is not broken. The metabolism is not dead. Seniors are not too old to improve their health. The truth is, the body is always ready to heal. It only needs the right fuel. Once sugar and unnecessary carbs are removed, the body quickly begins repairing itself. Insulin levels drop. Inflammation softens, cravings fade, energy stabilizes, digestion improves, sleep becomes deeper, belly fat shrinks, muscles respond better to protein, and most importantly, seniors feel in control again. Control is everything after 50. It brings peace of mind. It brings confidence. It brings hope. Many seniors, after learning about zero-carb foods, feel something they haven't felt in years: predictability. They know that when they eat these foods, they will not feel tired. They will not feel bloated. They will not crash afterward. They will not wake up hungry in the middle of the night. They will not feel guilty or confused. That kind of stability is priceless. This way of eating becomes not just a diet but a lifestyle that supports every aspect of senior health: muscles, bones, brain, joints, blood sugar, heart, energy, and mood. And it does so gently, naturally, and sustainably, without extreme rules, without counting calories, without feeling deprived, and without the emotional stress that comes with most weight loss plans. But perhaps the most powerful transformation happens in the mind. Seniors who switch to zero-carb, zero-sugar foods often say they feel mentally clearer, more focused, more emotionally balanced, and more optimistic. Sugar creates inflammation not only in the body but also in the brain. When it is removed, a fog lifts. Seniors find themselves more patient with their families, more energetic during the day, more inspired to walk, more capable of handling stress, and more connected to life itself. A 70-year-old widower named Frank from Scotland described it beautifully. After years of loneliness and emotional eating, he discovered zero-carb foods and began nourishing his body properly. Within a month, he said he felt a spark of life returning. He signed up for a senior walking group. He began cooking again. He started sleeping peacefully. He said, "I did not know food could give me my life back." These are the moments this journey creates: a quiet victories that add up to extraordinary transformations. Not dramatic one-week fixes, not impossible promises, but steady, consistent, daily improvements that build a new future. The final advice for every senior is simple, powerful, and deeply true. Your body is not slowing down. It is asking you to stop feeding it the foods it can no longer process. Remove those foods, and you will discover strength you thought you had lost. Remove those foods, and your energy will return. Remove those foods, and your hunger will calm. Remove those foods, and your weight will shift naturally. Remove those foods, and your digestion will thank you. Remove those foods, and your cravings will silence. Remove those foods, and your brain will clear. Remove those foods, and your life will expand again. Your age is not the barrier, hidden sugar is. Your metabolism is not broken, it is simply overloaded. Your future is not fixed, it is waiting for the right fuel. When seniors choose zero-carb, zero-sugar foods, they are not dieting. They are giving their body what it always wanted: clean, stable, reliable nourishment. And once they take that step, everything changes. Not because of luck, not because of magic, but because the body always knows how to heal when we stop giving it the things that hurt it. This journey is not about perfection. It is about alignment, not about restriction. It is about clarity, not about eating less. It is about eating right, not about youth. It is about health. And for every senior watching this, one truth stands above all. It is never too late to change your health, and these foods are the simplest, strongest, most powerful place to start.